Alright guys, back with another video. So Michelle Ferrari, who used to be the MP for Peterborough, she put something out here actually late yesterday. She says, wow, even the CBC is calling out Mark Carney. What's next? The Maple Leafs win the cup? Well, ironically, I'm making this video in the first intermission of the Leafs-Panthers game, Game 7. So I guess we'll see if there's even a possibility of that happening after tonight. But either way, let's have a look. This is a really short clip. Then we'll talk about it after like usual.
It's about you ran on being like the economic stewards and having more economic cred than Pierre Poilievre. And the first action is telling Canadians, no, you're not going to take Parliament seriously enough to introduce a budget and give people a snapshot of where you're going and how much it's going to cost and what you think the challenges are in the future. Like, no, it's completely inappropriate. And the Conservatives are right. And the other opposition parties should probably gang on and complain that the government is railroading and acting in completely unacceptable ways. And this is not a standard that you want to set because the next government will do exactly the same thing.
I mean, even Rosemary Barton's nodding her head. She must be dying inside, but even she has to be like, yeah, that is ridiculous. They're returning for like 3 weeks in May, late May, and then they're going on summer vacation. So they can spend all this money, go on vacation. Pierre Poilievre said that if he had won the election, him and his cabinet would not have gone on vacation. And they would have worked through the summer because there's lots of work to be done. What does this administration do? They just took a long weekend to go meet the Pope. Then they go to work, and I use that term work very usefully when it comes to the Liberal Party. And they're going to go on vacation after 3 weeks. What must be nice to make 6 figures at least, and then just, yeah, we're going to go to work for 3 weeks and we're going to go on vacation for months. Summer break, I think they call it. It's insane. Must be nice, though. And where do they get their salaries? Our taxpayer money. And they don't even work. They don't even want to put out a budget, but boy, they'll spend a bunch of money, won't they? Like I said, Pierre wouldn't have done that. Or at least he said he wouldn't have. Whether you believe him or not, that's up to you, but he wanted to work through the summer. And considering he's taking our money for his and his MP's salary, they should work. Okay, if their salary comes from our tax money, I don't really have too much of a problem with that, but at least work. But to take our money, then spend our money, and then you're just going to, yeah, we're going to go to work for 3 weeks and then nothing after? At least extend the next session or something. Like, try to do something to make it look like you're trying to work. But they're not. Horrible cabinet picks, no budget, and they dropped the retaliatory tariffs on Trump in the United States on April 16th. And even the CBC's like, wait, what's going on here? Even they're getting sick and tired of it. What does that tell you? And we know a lot of liberals like to watch CBC and Global. So they're hearing this too. And again, I checked to see if any polls came out, and I know it's way too early for that kind of stuff, but I do enjoy making those videos. I like covering numbers for some reason, but the next time they start coming out, you're going to see a different number than what we saw in the election. Unless they somehow start to work and do things much differently than what they've been doing, much differently than what Trudeau is doing, things are going to change. People are going to have buyer's remorse. This is a minority government, even if they get to the 172 threshold after the recounts, which I don't think they will, but if they do, they're going to lose by-elections. Once Canadians start to realize that Carney is basically Trudeau 2.0, except worse, you might even have some resignations in the next year or two. That automatically triggers by-elections, so who knows? Even if they get a majority, it's going to be a very unstable majority, and that's the best case scenario for them. And I don't see the NDP crossing the aisle. Like, what's the point of even having an NDP party then? I think they want to restore their party, and hopefully they pick a strong leader. We'll see. Maybe it's Wab Kinew. Maybe it's Jenny Kwan. I don't know. Hey, maybe Tom Mulcair comes out of retirement if that's even... I don't really know if he can or wants to or whatever, but I'd cheer that on, because if he did, the NDP would start gaining ground pretty quickly, in my opinion. But either way, what do you guys think about this? Even the CBC is calling out Mark Carney, and I know all of you have, but let's not stop. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Let's call out Mark Carney as much as we can. Like this video, please subscribe, share it. More likes, the more comments, the more engagement, the more YouTube pushes this, and we can keep exposing the liberals for what they are. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new video.